for the Learning Circle? Today we will speak about your vocational interest. In order to do that, I will present to you in more detail 8 main areas of competence, and then I will explain each in terms of behaviors and jobs associated with these interests and behaviors. Why is it important that you understand and know your vocational interest? This film and the explanation of vocational interests will help you understand better how to navigate through the large number of courses you can find online and put them in connection to. First, skills needed for a certain career you aim pursuing. 2. Things you always wanted to learn but never had the opportunity. And 3. Things you are just passionate about. So, now, take a pen and a paper and mark with an X the type of activities you like or you would enjoy under each cluster of competencies. If you need more time to reflect, follow the link from the description of this movie. You will find there, in a written format, all the clusters. Be patient, we have 8 clusters to discuss. So, the first cluster of vocational interests is under the concept leadership. You should aim for courses in this field if you like to make things happen, if you want to lead other people, if you aim to have an executive position, if you enjoy being an MC at meetings or parties, if you like planning or organizing political campaigns, if you like debating and persuading others to change their views, and if you like making decisions that are affecting the life of other people. The second cluster of vocational interests lays under the concept organization. You should aim for courses in this field if you like to work with numbers and finance, if you like to plan budgets, if you like to develop an office filling system, if you like to supervise other people's work, monitor expenses, keep track of inventories, manage databases, and keep detailed records. The third cluster of vocational interests is under the concept altruism. You should aim for courses in this field if you like to help others learn new ideas, care for the sick, always wanted to be an elementary school teacher or social worker, or any job concerned to religion. Counsel the people in need, like what nurses, doctors, or therapists are doing. If you like to provide comfort to others, and if you like to get involved in charity and charity events. The fourth cluster of vocational interests is under the concept creativity. You should aim for courses in this field if you like to create works of art or fashion designs, if you like to dance, write stories, novels, play an instrument, decorate the house, sing professionally or at friends' parties, if you wanted to be an actor or actress, an architect, create movies or internet sites, write songs, paint, and draw. The fifth cluster of vocational interests is under the concept analysis. You should aim for courses in this field if you want to be a chemist, design laboratory experiments, like math, explain scientific concepts to others, wanted to be a physicist, you like to carry out medical research, be a scientific reporter, always like to solve complex puzzles, develop apps and computer programs, or be a statistician. The sixth cluster of vocational interests is under the concept production. You should aim for courses in this field if you like to care for animals, like living in a farm, construct buildings, be a forest ranger, cultivate plants, take long walks in the nature, do woodwork, raise flowers, repair things and tinker, work with tools and machinery. The seventh cluster of vocational interests lays under the concept adventure. You should aim for courses in this field if you want to become a professional athlete, want to engage in exciting adventures, want to take survival trips into the wild, be a racing or car driver, face physical danger, be a military or a police officer, or if you want to be a bounty hunter. The eighth cluster of vocational interests lays under the concept erudition. You should aim for courses in this field if you want to become a translator or interpreter, be a librarian, a professor of Romanian language, like word puzzles, want to edit a newspaper, know many languages, be a foreign correspondent, speak on many subjects fluently, read books, and if you like to keep diaries or journals. Now, let's look at your results. How many X's did you mark in each cluster? Just count the X's you put down in each of the items from one cluster, then another cluster. The more X's you have, the closer to your heart is the field, and the easiest should be the decision for you related to your next online course. So, just a final couple of remarks. Keep in mind that the above information can help you understand better either the domain in which you are already specialized, but you feel you need more competence, or the areas in which you would like to expand your know-how in order to live a more meaningful life. You can find information on internet about virtually everything, as well as you can find people interested in the same topic as part of a learning circle. Imagine how many things you can learn from the people who are potentially actually doing the thing that you want to become, the thing that you want to learn. Understanding what is of interest to you is the key to saving time, money, having a high motivation, and huge enthusiasm in the learning process. In the hope that understanding your vocational interests has helped you understand better and more things about you, I wish you to have an efficient learning circle. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye bye.